The A-League derby in Melbourne has been abandoned due to chaotic scenes with a violent pitch invasion. Furious with the A-League's decision to send the next three grand finals to Sydney, tempers boiled over in the 21st minute in scenes never before seen in Australian football.
What was meant to be a peaceful protest quickly descended into chaos at Amy Park.
Cause a bit of a problem, and now we are going to have, the referee has called for both sets of players to leave the field of play. And this is entirely unacceptable.
Fans across the competition were protesting the league's decision to sell the next three grand finals to Sydney. Spectators walked out in the 20th minute of each game across the week, but nobody could have expected the scenes that unfolded at the Melbourne derby. Yes,
fans have a right to protest. Yes, fans can be unhappy with the decision, but this is all too much.
The chaos began when Melbourne City goalkeeper Tom Glover returned a flare into the crowd. He was one of the chief victims of the violence, requiring medical attention after being struck in the head, while an official and a cameraman were also caught up in the commotion.
I think there's a lot of football fans around Australia who feel like they've had their heart ripped out tonight by a group of anarchistic thugs.
Play was stopped and both sides left the field, with the game abandoned soon after due to ongoing concerns over player safety.
And I stress to you all again that this is not football. This is not football in this country. This is the actions of a few that are not welcome at football in this country.
A fortnight ago, the country was celebrating the historic success of the Socceroos, but now the sport has to come to grips with violent and chaotic scenes never before seen in Australian football.
Football is all about passion, about supporting your team, about identifying with values, the values of sport. They have very quickly disunited themselves from the rest of Australia's footballing community with their actions this evening that just cannot be condoned. They cannot be justified.
Players across the league voiced their disapproval of the fans' ugly display. Socceroo Craig Goodwin tweeted, "Extremely disappointing. Regardless of what has happened, this is not the way to respond and only gives the game a bad look." While Stephen Mork added, "I cannot believe what I've just seen. Every single fan that was involved should take a good hard look in the mirror and never walk into a football stadium again."
These scenes that we have seen in the past, these scenes that have tarnished the image of football overseas, that have now reared their head here.
Sanctions and punishments are expected to be handed down in the coming days as the sport comes to grips with one of the darkest days in Australian football. Camelia Hanna, Sky News.